everybody. It's Saturday night, and that means it's the Weekend Big Show college football recap with myself, Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, and ruler of the airways, Jeremy Schroeder. Talking college football here with you on a Saturday night, as we do throughout the fall. It's really kind of our funnest endeavor because more people are pretty fired up about it, Jeremy, and you're going to talk about fired up. I mean, there's a lot of fan bases that can be fired up today, and there's a lot of fan bases that can kind of be going the opposite.
You think, especially here locally, think how happy the people in Tulsa are.
Yeah. A rough Friday night for Stillwater, for OSU fans at Stillwater, and we'll get into that. We'll get into the OU Auburn game. Texas Tech goes on the road, gets a big win. Clemson is just completely Clemsoning, and Texas is beating up on a former Southland team. So all is right for the month of September in the world of college football. And we want to remind you that this show is sponsored by CCW Safe for legal self-defense coverage. Plans starting as low as $19 a month. Be sure and check out the link in the description of this broadcast. We want to see you protect if you utilize your Second Amendment rights to protect your family, you're going to want to check in to CCW Safe, and they handle a lot of stuff for you if you're in a self-defense critical incident, so to speak, and it's a good coverage to have. So we appreciate them, and like I said, the link is there on the scroll and also in the description. We've already got one checking in, Jeremy. Michael Busso saying good evening to us. And we appreciate Michael Busso checking in. And, speaking of our followers and our fans, one of our favorites is got to be Marty Wandry. And Marty is on a cruise right now somewhere in he posted a picture on Facebook, just pristine Atlantic blue water. I mean, he said they were stunned that the sea was that still. And it looked beautiful, and he's on a cruise. But I saw an Oklahoma Lottery Facebook page post a picture of a guy who won a $100,000 scratcher that he purchased at Clinton Liquor. and man, Jeremy, I thought, gosh, why did I not get by there and pick up a scratcher?
You should have went there and bought him out.
Oh yeah. I mean, and my wife always tells me when I buy a lottery ticket, she's like, it won't be someplace, like the Albertsons in Yukon or something where it wins. It'll be some little small place in a smaller town. And she's generally right. And she was right on that one. And it's been it's been like, man, if I just got back there. And so thanks for reminding me to take down the graphic, and that's tripping me up 2 days in a row. So you feel free to say that. I mean,
I'm just like, what's going on here?
Yeah, you might go ahead
to chime in.
You might just go ahead and utter that phrase. That's been something I've kind of slipped on lately, and just kind of one of those weary days. But before we get into breaking down and recapping some of the games. Right now, I've got the fourplex on, and Missouri's trying to get a 2-score lead against South Carolina. South Carolina had led that early and then has faltered a bit late. The Hardy kid from Missouri is having a big game, looks like. And then, the Fighting Kurt Signetti's all over Brett Bielema and the Fighting Illini, 42-10 in the third.
That was extremely surprising to me. I thought a little bit more of Illinois. Man, I guess Signetti might have him a little bit of a wagon out there.
Yeah, he could. So Florida is on second down. DJ Lagway trying to put together some sort of drive for the Gators, and they have been the epochs of futility down there in Coral Gables on the offensive side. But it's it's a tough place to play, and when they're fired up and back into it at the U, it can be real tough. So, but that's going on, as well as Baylor and Arizona State.
Touchdown! All right,
so Lagway gets the Gators on the board. Big run for him, and so that could make things interesting because it's obvious to me that it seemed like Cristobal felt like the defense could just kind of pull it the rest of the way. But the day started early with the big noon kickoff, and it was Texas Tech and Utah. I listened to some of the radio broadcast, and the Tech play-by-play team, they were like, second quarter action. It feels like, is it even noon yet here? And it wasn't.
Mhm.
That's
Well,
the
they start
point.
at 10 a.m.
Exactly. And so, or maybe it was third quarter action. They said it, are we even at noon yet? So, Dan Narva checking in with us as well from up in Michigan. He was at, I don't know if he was at the Ferris State game again, a team from Ohio called Rio Grande. That's just
I
befuddling to me, but
I
the
think it
Ferris
was
State,
a Rio Grande in
Ohio. Yeah.
Michigan? Was it, or is it
I
Ohio?
think it's
Okay.
Ohio school. So, but he was Bill Conley's up there actually, and he
Oh.
posted a pic and said boots on the ground. So,
Hmm.
but D2 football in action. SWASU Bulldogs get the win tonight in Durant over the Southeastern Savage Storm. I left out it was 28-14 late, so I'm assuming they got the win. And then, like I said, it was we'll start with Texas Tech. Well, actually, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a serious question. Uh, what's the best mascot in college football?
Well, I mean, the best mascot is obviously the Pitt State Gorilla,
Yeah, I could see that.
but a close second is probably a coked out Michael Irvin ringing the storm siren.
I know it's humid in Miami, but man, he is just soaked in sweat down there on the sidelines, and
And
he's
super focused.
55, dude.
It's super focused.
Yeah, he's just like, I mean, it's like coked up werewolf or something. So it's just like, dude, and I mean, he's getting after it. I mean, he's obviously, I mean, it's either the substances or, I mean, who's the greatest cane? Cocaine.
That's right.
But so, anyways, but Miami looking the part up until they gave up that Lagway score. Now they're showing some Texas highlights and Arch scrambling, finding wide open receivers. So,
Got a good one going on down in Baylor. Arizona State's up 13-10. Baylor
yeah,
with the ball at their own 24.
that's been a slobber knocker, and that's late in the third. And then, like I said, South Carolina, Shane Beamer needs to get
Oh, interception.
his team rolling.
Florida just
Florida,
intercepted
Carson Beck,
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson light. So Dan Narvis says Rio Grande is near Cincinnati. Well, no, it's not. It's down there in South Texas, pal.
That's right. It's in South Texas.
So Texas Tech, man, rolls into Salt Lake City, and we talk to Ryan Hyatt from time to time, and I thought about reaching out to him, but with a noon kickoff Eastern time and 10 o'clock kickoff, 11 o'clock kickoff for Ryan in Lubbock, he's probably pretty worn out. But what a slow-moving game, 10-3 at the half. And then Texas Tech just turns on the burners in the fourth with a backup quarterback.
That kid was man, he played well. Good runner,
Yeah.
pretty dang accurate.
Yeah.
They don't lose a lot when Morton goes down if that kid's the one taking snaps.
No, and their defense is what amazed me really about Texas Tech was because I'm telling you, I said this on the show yesterday. Devin Dampier was electric at times last year at New Mexico, most of the time. And I think people realize that he's got, a lot of playmaking ability, but Tech just kind of took it all away from him.
Yeah, they've got a really good team down there. I mean, they paid enough for it, right? Is
Sure.
that how we're
Yeah.
doing it?
Yeah.
Mike Gundy?
311 passing yards for Tech, 162 for Utah, 173 rushing yards for Tech, and 101 for Utah. That was probably a little skewed late. There were there's some big chunk plays, I think, in that game. But I listened to it on the radio, and the Learfield, Chris Jensen and Brian Jensen and Chris Level, they were calling it, and they were anticipating that Dampier could turn it on at some point in time, just because that's how you feel about it when you know a guy can make plays. But man, that Texas Tech defense did a solid job, and then the offense got clicking. And Texas Tech they came into today's game ranked 17th. They're going to be 4-0. That's a quality win. They're going to move.
Yeah, and Dampier just looked like he was befuddled with Tech's scheme and their speed.
Yeah,
it just hadn't got like we'll get to that later, but yeah, it was just that's a little different level of competition when you go from playing New Mexico. Was it New Mexico State?
Yeah, he was New Mexico. He was a
New
Lobo.
Mexico, yeah.
Yeah.
Playing their schedule when you're playing Wyoming and the Fresno States of the world to playing,
For sure.
SEC rosters in the Big 12.
And New Mexico, against the better teams in the Mountain West, the Boise States, they struggled like you would expect, But I thought he would go in there with with a little upgrade in talent and things around him to do a little bit more, and he showed it out against UCLA, and Saban gave him a lot of praise in the college game day pregame. But so Dan Narva said he wished he'd seen more of that Tech game. Kenny McGuire, Thomas, Oklahoma, checking in. New Mexico. Oh, sorry, wrong comment. Kenny McGuire, quarterback from Arizona State, is pretty dang good. Levitt is good, and
yes, he is.
I saw an article that said scouts reevaluated who the number one prospect at quarterback would be, and they said Lenore Sellers. I would think Levitt could be moving up that board.
I would think so too. Levitt, Sellers. Why do I always
Nussmeier, I think,
Nussmeier?
is still getting love, but we know it's not Arch Manning. Freeze up. All right. So Jeremy's frozen up, and Connard is going to comment, said New Mexico would beat the Hogs. We'll get into Arkansas for you here in just a little bit, Connard, but we will see what goes on with Jeremy's stream as he is frozen at this time. And it could be my computer, could be his. We will see. But so 34-10, Texas Tech wins over Utah in Salt Lake, and that's just not a place where Kyle Whittingham's teams generally falter quite that bad. And it was 2 interceptions apiece and three fumbles for the Utes. So just a dominant defensive performance by the Red Raiders, and nice rushing yardage from Cameron Dickey, and then just a lot of good plays that got Texas Tech in good spots. And Baron Morton, they said, was a concussion issue. But he was 12 of 19 for 142 yards and no touchdowns, but Hammond did pass for 2 touchdowns. So we'll see if we can't get Jeremy back in here on the show and see what we can do about his stream or my stream or something like that. But typical Saturday night for the show, and between production issues on my side and then streaming issues on the other, you just never know. So anyways, but thanks Kenny McGuire for checking in. Dan Narva also Levitt is having a better passing game than some others this year. His wheels are always there. Yeah, and man, you talk about a guy who's also fallen off the cliff as far as a quarterback prospect, and that'd be Cade Klubnik. And when we get Jeremy back on, we'll kind of talk about the whole Clemsoning thing. But it was a bad situation for Dabo Swinney and the Tigers down at home. Just a terrible day. As bad as Arkansas fans want to feel about their loss to Memphis on the road, losing to Syracuse in Death Valley, that is pretty dang bad. So, but no, Arizona State is a quality team. They built that squad with a lot of talent, and trying to see now. Bo Pribula is running for a first down against South Carolina with 3:46 left to go, and that's probably they're up 6. And I bet they're going to be pretty close to field goal range here shortly. So just a rough night in the fourth quarter for South Carolina on the road. And then Florida is trying to drive against Miami, and they are doing their best. So there's Jeremy back, and we got him back on cue. And Jeremy looks like Mizzou is kind of taking over in Columbia.
Well, let's see. 26.
6, but I mean, they're driving.
Yeah.
And it's getting late.
I guess Sellers is playing tonight. I didn't expect to see him play after the nasty hit he took last week.
They said he got out of the concussion protocol, rightfully. But so South Carolina loses to Vanderbilt, loses to Missouri. Who's the best team in South Carolina?
It's got to be South Carolina. South Carolina State lost today, so it would have to be South Carolina.
Yeah. So Coastal Carolina is in North Carolina, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're not very good this year.
Yeah. So but no, I mean, the thing about it is Shane Beamer, he's catching some strays because of some of their floundering. And the Vanderbilt loss did not help one bit. This loss isn't going to be great either, considering you had the lead and just kept giving Missouri chance after chance after chance. But I will say this, Missouri's at home the first 8 weeks of the season.
Yeah, it's
They
crazy,
they
right?
they haven't had to deal with a road trip yet.
Nope.
How'd that little Fink get that pulled off?
I don't know. It must have come free with his last teeth whitening.
I hate fat Andy Bernard.
I think, put a true serum in him, he probably hates himself.
Oh, he should. He
Yeah.
totally should. So anyways, but so we were talking about Tech, and I kind of mentioned about how just not a lot of teams roll into Salt Lake City and come out of there with a 24-point win. So kudos to Texas Tech. If they wanted to get out on the platform and get somebody from the Big 12 that either wins the championship or comes in second in the playoff, this could be the way.
Yeah, save your coach's job too. That's always a plus, right? Don't have to go
Now,
hire a new one.
yeah. Now coaching, schedule strength is off the charts bad.
Oh, of course.
I mean, that doesn't give them a lot of flexibility as far as dropping Big 12 games, but
Yeah.
I think they're a quality team, and how about this? Texas Tech with a really solid defense.
I know.
Think about that phrase.
I know. I don't think we've Coach Douchewitz was a coach of mine. He's a jerk. What did he coach you at, Connor?
Was that in high school? So anyway, Connor Carr smarting a little bit tonight from the Arkansas debacle in Memphis.
I think that entire program is snake bit. There's some
hoop jupe on them.
Some blood magic was used.
Yeah.
I can't explain it. You have the ball at the 5. All you have to do is fall down and kick a field goal, and the kid runs into it and fumbles.
Yeah. That's bad.
Man.
USC and Michigan State will be getting started here shortly in about 45 minutes. So that's a late night big pack action.
Yeah. Pac-12 after dark.
That's right, baby. Texas up on Sam Houston 48-0 in the third. So let's get to, where do you want to go first? You want to go Auburn, Oklahoma, or OSU Tulsa?
Is there really anything to talk about? Yeah, let's get into OSU Tulsa. Because we have to. A little
bit of a changing of the guard in my mind, coaching wise. Now, Trey Lamb could be a hot commodity on some people's radar, looking to replace in Power 5 levels. I don't know.
Yes. Other than when he called a timeout to take a knee last night, which I didn't understand why he did that. All you got to do is just take a knee. You don't need to do that.
No.
Oklahoma State was out of timeouts. Why are you calling a timeout?
Speaking of timeout, well, I'll get into it later.
I mean, they got that running back that Oklahoma State just processed out.
Dominic Richardson. He OSU and Baylor.
Yeah.
He put 146 on him last night.
Yeah, and he was big and fast and physical. He looked a lot like guy used to wear number 0 in Stillwater. Looked a lot like Ollie Gordon running the football.
Sure. I mean, and running back depth is always a big thing, but
yeah.
Connor Carr says Drinkwitz was at his Alma, Arkansas. So
yeah.
I started to say alma mater, but it's Alma, Arkansas. So
I was just wondering what sport.
Yeah. Would Drink have coached some baseball? Wasn't Connor the baseballer? I'm sure you do baseball too. I mean, at Alma, I'm sure you do.
Maybe field hockey.
A little bit off-putting last night watching Gundy, and I know it's just vintage Mike Gundy, but he's walking off the field being pretty defiant.
I don't think he's
bad. That's as low as that program has sunk since maybe the last couple of years of Pat Jones.
The 0-11 season?
Yeah.
I remember it well. And, he hasn't had a lot of these, and he's going to have 2 in a row, it's concerning.
Yeah. Because UT Martin getting blown out today by a group, I think by a Conference USA team.
Zane Flores hadn't led a touchdown drive yet this season.
No.
Kicked a lot of field goals.
Yeah.
And they had 1 field goal against Oregon. And then they kicked how many last night? They lost 19-12, so they kicked 4 last night. Say quick math. You like that?
I didn't get to watch the game because I was doing Weatherford Eagles football on Right Media Network, but going back and seeing the highlights and hearing the flow of the game, it reminded me of 1995 OU OSU.
Is that
Think
the Jack
about that game.
Bills year? No,
Snellenberger
that was
year.
Schnelly.
Yeah.
When Eric Moore ran into the brick wall right behind the
No,
end
that
zone.
was 98.
That was 98.
That was
Okay.
98 because he was actually having a game. 95, they just total futility on offense.
Was that the 12-0 game?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And
But there were a lot of futile games that year.
well, sure.
I still remember Glenn Mason calling, going for it on fourth down about a zillion times in that game, and Oklahoma just having no answer for it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Kenny McGuire says had that calculator handy. So yeah,
that's right.
Well, and that's the thing is like one team just seemed to be all about the moment, and the other team just seemed to be like, let's just try to end this and get out of here.
It doesn't seem like he ever had that team bought in.
He didn't have last year's team bought in, and that team had a lot to play for and a lot of guns.
And they had a lot of guys. They had 5 guys drafted.
Yeah,
and they won 3 ball games.
And Ollie Gordon is running very well in the NFL.
Yeah, they can figure out how to use him in the NFL, even if it is Miami.
Yeah. Well, it was a freshman quarterback that came in for TU, did just enough, 23 of 36, 219 yards and a touchdown.
He looked about 12 years old.
Baylor Hayes from Brentwood, Tennessee. And was he I missed it. Was he did they bench Kirk Francis or was he hurt?
I don't think I wasn't watching it that early, so I don't know what happened with Francis.
Okay. Well, I missed out on that. Like I said, I was calling a high school game. But so I mean, is there a clock on Mike Gundy now?
It's at midnight.
It's 11:59 on the disaster clock.
It's 11:59 and 59.
Oh.
I don't think he's got any wiggle room. I would not be surprised if we woke up Monday and see that he resigned or he had been fired.
You would think that something could really crack open here over the next 18 hours, maybe 36.
We talked about this yesterday morning, man. It's a young man's job. It's not a job where you're just going to go and have 20 years of success like Gundy has. Not anymore. Maybe 5 years ago before the NIL stuff, but not anymore. There's just not enough money up there to go around. They're going to have to hire a guy that's willing to take a lot less money so they can fund a lot of things. They're going to have to find another benefactor for that program. I mean, Cody Campbell's got a lot of money. Maybe they can, sweet talk him a little bit.
Yeah. We've got some storms rolling in here to my region, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. I don't know if it's anything hard or serious, but anyways, taking a look at the radar real quick, and we could have something rolling in, and the predictive radar always has it kind of dying down. So Kenny McGuire says Thomas High School could give State a run. I think UCO could give OSU a run right now, and whatever other D2 team in Oklahoma you would want to throw at them, because they just don't seem like they want to play football.
Are you south of Woodward?
We are south and east of Woodward.
South and east of Woodward. Okay, yeah, you're about to have some stuff come right over the top of you.
Kenny McGuire says Chuck could get his big break calling play-by-play for that game. Well, Kenny McGuire's already on the play-by-play for Thomas, so he's one of the voices of Thomas Terrier football, who are undefeated, by the way, and got a big blowout win last night. So Kyle Albert checking in on Facebook. Corn Bible Academy could give the Pokes a run.
Is that a real place?
They're piling on the Pokes tonight, and I didn't really sign it up for it, but it's happening. But I mean, you said it's a young man's game, and not only is it a young man's game, but I think this is also effective to Saban. Is your days of being an old curmudgeon dealing with these kids are over.
Yep,
you're not going to be the surly disciplinarian, and I don't even know that going into the whole politics of everything over the past 5 years has anything to do with it, but it sure doesn't help.
And we also mentioned their support staff. We mentioned it yesterday morning. They have an athletics director, and then they have the head football coach.
Yeah.
And somebody correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that that's still their structure, and they need to retool that thing like a NFL front office.
Yeah.
Bring in some
Well,
people to do the recruiting, do the talent evaluation, get that off the head coach's plate.
yeah. Yeah, it's but I mean, you tell me, these old guard college football coaches, and Venables I think is pretty flexible because he's always a coordinator at heart, right?
Busso is asking, is Tulsa beating OSU bigger than Memphis beating Arkansas? I would say yes,
I do.
because Memphis has a good program,
Memphis has pulled off some wins
and
as of late.
they're a really good football team this year.
Tulsa's been down, and this
Tulsa
is new.
they haven't beaten Oklahoma State in Stillwater since what, the 1950s?
I think they said, and I don't know if they've beaten them
Since
in Tulsa,
1998,
something like that. Yeah. So, of course, Tulsa came into Norman and won in 05.
Yeah. At least we got that offer.
Yeah. But no, I agree. I think it is bigger than Memphis beating Arkansas, because out of the American Conference, Tulsa has not had near the success that Memphis has. So, Arkansas is from the SEC, and it does mean more. But so, I don't wish anything bad for Mike Gundy, but I think a lot of folks are just really kind of spent with his act.
I think so too. He's been pretty adversarial with the media. He's, like you said, the OAN thing, which, okay, whatever.
But you can't tell me that other coaches don't use that against OSU.
Oh, I'm sure they do. But
go ahead.
How many of those guys you think Oklahoma State's actually, recruiting against a major brand for?
Well, I'll tell you something. I mean, OSU, I've always kind of felt like OSU can get a leg in on most Tulsa kids, even competing with OU. They've done it with the Presleys.
But you got a Presley at Tulsa now.
You got a Presley at Tulsa. And, if TU finds a way to keep Trey Lamb, that's going to be a situation where they're going to kind of probably cordon off some of the talent around town.
You would hope.
I mean, Arkansas comes in, OU gets in, but I mean, when you have to scrap with Tulsa and your OSU for Tulsa talent,
that second level of guy that maybe isn't being recruited as hard,
but goes to OSU and develops,
right? Or he can go to Tulsa and play right away.
Yeah. Kyle Albert, does Gundy go elsewhere, or is he done? I think he's done. I don't think he coaches anymore.
As much as I would like to see him,
as
much as I think I'd like to see him go somewhere else, and just to see if it would work.
Because he's made 10 times the money that Kale made, and Kale hasn't gone back in.
No, okay. I think Kale's just enjoying drawing his retirement. And
yeah, I mean, the two of them could go and start an Oklahoma podcast.
Gundy and Gundy.
Gundy and Gundy. Yeah. So anyway, so OSU reeling on the 1-2 season now, and just a dismal effort against Oregon and a dismal effort last night.
Or
they're in the hurt locker.
Or he could lead snake hunting expeditions in the Arbuckles.
Yeah, he could head out to O'Keene. It's just straight west of Stillwater, and get up there in those hills and snaggle some rattlesnakes and stuff. So
I could see him having a cabin or a trailer just off in the middle of nowhere and living out his days. Couldn't you?
Sure. Yeah, I totally see that. And, just walk around in duck brand or duck head coveralls and all that stuff. Hey, there was a game in Norman today, and it was a pretty big one. SEC Nation was in town, and while game day was down in Coral Gables, the SEC network brought their crew here, and looked like a really electric atmosphere, especially with all of the connotation of the former OU quarterback coming in, and making his return to Norman, where he was a turnover waiting to happen, and today he just had ball security, even withstanding 10 sacks. What in the world?
Oklahoma just refuses to take the ball away.
Yeah,
it's weird. There were 3 balls in the first half they should have picked off. 2 of them could have gone for 6. The first one to Bowen, the second one to Bowen, when The kid flipped it up in the air right in front of him, and he didn't even see the ball, just went for the tackle.
Yeah.
And then Kendall Daniels had a ball tipped right into his hands by a receiver and just could not secure it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'll say this for Jackson Arnold. The Hugh Freeze system probably suits him. He's got weapons there. They're going to gel.
Man.
They're going to gel more. Cam Coleman is a big
Cam
time
Coleman
receiver.
is a beast.
If they give him some time, I don't know that they've got what they need on the offensive line for the Tigers. And looking
Jackson Arnold just needs to get rid of the daggum football.
Yeah, and they've got a tough schedule too. They go to A&M next week, and then after that they're off, and then a game on the 11th of October when they host Georgia, and then they host Missouri, and then they travel to Fayetteville. So,
and I'll give Arnold his flowers. When he wasn't being absolutely bullied in the backfield, he made some throws. He threw the ball a lot better today than he ever did last season.
The touchdown pass to Coleman was really, and McElroy gave him a lot of praise on it, and kind of deflected some of the heat off of Cortland Guillory too. Is that the back shoulder pass is almost indefensible.
Yeah, but you've got 5 or 6 or 7 dudes that can absolutely get after the passer. And then when Halton hit him, I didn't know if he's going to get up, but he got up. He's a tough son of a bitch.
I'm just going to say this, and Connor will probably appreciate this too, but Drinkwitz, I think Beamer might be a little miffed at Drinkwitz. Their exchange at midfield was not the most pleasant. So I'm going to say this: Drinkwitz needs to wear dark hoodies, dark colored hoodies, because the light colored hoodies kind of show off the need for a bro.
A man's ear.
I got my own issues with that, so I don't criticize too bad, but I'm also not running across a football field on national television.
Jiggly.
Missouri gets the 29-20 win over South Carolina at home, so they're going to transition straight into Wyoming and Colorado on ESPN. And, man, you talk about a beat down, Jeremy, 56-10 now in Bloomington. And I forget who I said I took in that.
I picked Illinois because apparently I think a lot more of Brett Bielema than he thinks of himself.
For sure. So OU gets the win, and they've got a bye, and then another, in essence, bye against Kent State, maybe the worst team in Division I football. But Jeremy, this offensive line situation, they've got to take the time off and the time against Kent State to have it ready for Texas.
It's a completely different offensive line with the Susies out there, and we saw that against Michigan.
Yeah,
and he's just got to get healthy. And I think at this point, Biedenbow just needs to damn the torpedoes and play the young guys.
Sure, yeah,
because he's not getting any push out of the guys he's got out there.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, and running the ball, and I heard this on the radio broadcast because I had to do some plumbing work today around the house. That's never good.
That's always fun.
Yeah. So Connor Carr says he fell for Bielema again also. So, Dan Narvis says really thought IU and Illini would be a good one. A lot of people did. So, Jeremy, the thing about it is I heard on the radio broadcast that Blaylock is a freshman,
mm-hmm.
and Eichard kind of felt like he's not patient with waiting on the blocks to get set up. And apparently they pointed out a couple that Jaron Canick had really chipped outside well, and Blaylock just didn't have the patience to catch the hole. In our text thread today, we had a lot of people chiming in, and I just said, well, running games, it's a shame, that OU didn't go out and get some premier running back in the portal. What the world is going on? Why is Jay not seeing any of the field?
From what I've been told, he did not participate in a lot of drills leading up to the season. They felt like he could play. They felt like he could practice, and he didn't. And I don't think he's taken to this offensive system at all. Wow. It's like oil and water with him. So, yeah, I don't know. At this point, I don't know, because I can't point to a back on that roster outside of Blaylock and say that's a dude.
Yeah.
Maybe the answer is line old number 12 up back there and just say, "Go get him, big guy."
Yeah,
Jump on him.
run the who was
But
the kid, who was the
you
kid from last
mentioned
year?
Jaron Canick and
Yeah, who was the tight end from last year that ran the crazy reverse? I got the name in my head.
Bauer Sharp.
Bauer Sharp. I keep wanting to say Rutger Hauer. I don't
And
know.
I think, yeah, there you go. But we were talking. I think I mentioned that in the thread. I think they need to get Canick, have him be a more focal piece of the offense, not like they did with Bauer Sharp,
Yeah,
but just utilize him more. Line him up in the backfield,
sure.
move him around, line him up in line tight end. He's flexing out some. He is lining up, but when they had to have need a yard against Michigan, they dotted the I with Blaylock and had him run right behind Canick.
Well, and I think today we saw some things. Isaiah Satania, 9 catches, targeted 11 times, 127 yards, and a touchdown.
I am a fan.
Yeah,
he's going to make me have a stroke, but God dang, he's electric.
He's high drama television, but he's going to be a guy who he obviously has the wheels, and he can obviously find the space to get open, and that's what Mateer needs. I don't like a lot of Mateer's touch.
He needs to learn to layer the ball over.
He just blasted it to Burks, who was already kind of trying to get in position. But
I don't even think he was throwing it to Burks.
It's hard to say.
I think he was throwing it to Canick and just laced it right through his arms.
Probably so. But
then he'll do that, and then he'll make like a bucket throw like he did to Satania on the sideline that got held up in review.
But defensively, they're just one of the most outstanding front sevens we've seen in a long time in Norman, and I would say probably the best defensive line since you had Dvorak and Tommy Harris lining up at D tackles.
Let me tell you, we thought there was going to be a massive drop off in that first half without the closer playing.
Yeah,
but PJ Adebawore, Marvin Jones, Taylor Wine, they got after
David
it.
Stone had a big day too.
But then they brought the closer off the bench in the second half, and he closed.
Yeah, he did. But Torrey Blaylock's probably got some things that he can be coached. 11 carries, 13 yards. That's so bad. But it's not like it's not like Auburn was the Pony Express either. I mean, it was.
They had
rushing wise, both front sevens were clamped down.
They had that 43-yard run when 3 guys just bounced off of him in the hole, and he got loose excitedly and surprisingly got loose into the secondary and had a nice run.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, there was nothing, not even quarterback run game. He had a couple times he toted the ball that 4th and 11, and I think he got something on a 3rd down when Wine just absolutely pulled up and whiffed on him when he should have blasted his rear end out of bounds.
Yep. Kenny McGuire says an ex-baseball shortstop doesn't know any other way than to fling it.
He's got to learn to layer that ball over that first line of defense into that opening behind the linebackers. But he's just
mess it. OU punted the ball well.
Man, he didn't even start the year as the punter. That's the kid from UCO. He had a 74-yard punt today.
Yeah. So exit question on OU is a great win. I'm not taking anything away from him. It's a lot of hype around the situation.
If you can grind out a win in a weird football game, because that was a weird football game.
Yeah.
Tons of penalties. Hell, they had 9 penalties for 99 yards in the 4th quarter. Oklahoma did. Won the game. Felt like it should have been a winning going away. They're not playing well. They're not playing well yet. They're not peaked.
Yeah.
Let's hold off on that peak. Let's peak in 3 weeks.
In Dallas. A couple of PIs that they missed, but really I don't think it affected Auburn's score. The trick play that was the PI that was missed. You run the trick play, you run the risk of having the official out of position.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just that. I mean, that's how I see that. But with that, I mean, they went down and scored.
Yeah, they did.
Holding, a lot of holding didn't get called, and then it gets called late. So a lot of Auburn fans pissed off.
That weird pick on Satania when he's running an out route and the guy runs right into him.
Yeah,
I watched it over and over and over. I've seen way more obvious picks not get called than that. Yeah. The second one, okay, I'll give you that one. He did run right into the guy with his hands up. Sure. That one, that was silly.
Yeah. So I guess Arizona State, according to Dan Narva, quick strike by Sparky. So that one's just really going down to the wire, and that's good for the Big 12. They need it. They need heavyweight showdowns in these games, and Arizona State. I mean, I'll just say this: Iowa State. If I had to handicap the Big 12 right now, and I know Arizona State's got a lot of talent, I'd go Texas Tech and Iowa State. Did I say Arizona State has a lot of talent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I'd probably take right now today. I'd probably take Tech and Iowa State to be in the championship game.
same. You've always got to wait for those weird losses that Matt Campbell teams have.
Oh yeah, and
And
Tech,
they're coming in conference this year because they didn't happen out of conference.
yeah, and Tech. I'll just say that's got to be the best road win in the Big 12 this season so far.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go. I mean, there's not a lot of teams that go into Salt Lake and win, and they went in there and won handily with a backup quarterback.
For sure. They, like I said, they will move up. Looking at their schedule, the Red Raiders are at Houston in 2 weeks. And so they get a bye, see what they can do with Baron Morton's health. I'm pretty certain they said he hit his head hard on the turf.
It bounced on the turf, yeah.
Then they host Kansas, and then they go to Tempe. So Saturday, October 18th could be a huge one. Then you wrap up with Kansas State, BYU, and Central Florida, who the Fighting Scott Frosts got all over Bill Belichick today.
Belichick, he's got nothing out there.
No.
Oh my gosh,
he's just drawing a paycheck.
Yeah, he just
and
wants to.
If they bring in his 63-10 Indiana, my gosh, that is a colossal beatdown, and a number 9 team in the country getting 63 put on them. That's bad.
Looks like Oklahoma's moving into the top 10.
So everybody was raving so much last week about UTEP's defense, and I always try to support the Miners. Got my Miner coffee mug right here, but they really did a great job shutting down Arch or slowing him down. Right now they are doing nothing with Louisiana Monroe, 24-7 at the half, and I guess that's you get up for a game and you do everything you can. But hey, one game that we picked, and I think we both took this side, but it was a shootout, and this team had a huge lead early, and then the comeback, and then they go to overtime. But how about North Texas going to West Point and beating the Black Knights 45-38 in overtime? Man, there were some big plays, and one of my favorites was I saw in the highlights the Army fullback on the blast. Straight up the middle, baby.
It's beautiful to see, isn't it?
It reminded me of Lydell Carr.
Oh, my gosh. Mr. Rodney Anderson right up the gut.
Mm-hmm.
God rest his soul.
Kenyon Rashid.
Arch Manning was 18-21 for 309 yards and 3 touchdowns against Sam Houston.
Look at there. So
I bet he wasn't throwing to a lot of covered up receivers.
The Bearcats not putting up. Oregon only put up 41 on Oregon State. That was a final 41-7. Notre Dame all over Purdue. Just looking for anything else that kind of jumped out at me. Tulane.
Ole Miss beat Tulane.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Tulane wasn't able to really hang with Ole Miss, and then Michigan rolls into Lincoln and gets a 3-point win over the Huskers, and that's going to help OU's resume.
Yeah, keep winning, Michigan.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, the 40-10 victory in Lawrence by the Jayhawks, and I'm going to pull up the stats real quick. And Jalen Daniels, baby, 12 of 24 for 138 passing, but 3 touchdowns, and then he also ran the ball for 69 yards. So just nice. Rich Rod, I don't know. I mean,
second time around. And how many points did that Zach Alley defense give up?
41. Yep.
41, huh?
Yeah. It was 20-3 at half. So yeah, Zach Alley, and that's the thing about it is, I mean, he obviously wanted to go because he knew what they were bringing back this season. I mean, you talk about a front seven that would be easy to coach and pad your resume.
I mean, he had a Lamborghini sitting in the garage and traded in for a beat-up Beetle with no engine in it.
Pretty much. And how about the shootout in Piscataway last night, Jeremy? 38-28. The Hawkeyes beat Rutgers. We would have smoked so poorly on the under on that.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I think I had Rutgers as the team scoring the fewest amount of points in our pick'em, and they
got Michael Irvin FaceTime. Oh gosh, I've seen that on the streets of Oklahoma City, bud. Standing around wondering who he can fight.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
no. That's such a bad look. I'm sorry.
So Oregon State might be the team that scores the
Green.
fewest amount of points this week.
I had them, but I had Oregon scoring the most, and I'll have to look at my scores in a little bit. But Dan Narva says Trinidad Chambliss with another 300-100 effort for Ole Miss, circling October 25th on the counter. Dan, you better not be cheering for a Ole Miss quarterback against OU. I'll just say that.
He saw that front seven today. He knows what's about to happen.
He knows what's going to happen. So, anyways, anything else jump out at you today?
Man,
several of the top 10 were just off this week.
Yeah, I think just to circle back to the OU game.
Yeah.
Can you remember two defensive tackles in the same recruiting class on the same team that have been better than Jaden Jackson and David Stone? David Stone was really good today too.
Those are two huge hauls.
And, oh my gosh.
Also Halton.
Grayson Halton's a stud.
Grayson Halton. I mean,
and Dominic Williams.
Is he out of that class too?
No. Grayson Halton's a senior.
Okay. So Dominic Williams is in his last year.
Mm-hmm.
He transferred from TCU. That's been a great pickup.
And you're going to have Jackson and Stone back next year.
Yeah. I'll just say this. I mean, when you see Freeze signing a kid like Cam Coleman, who's a sophomore this year, I mean, Arbuckle's got to get the receiver thing figured out.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing okay, but nobody's looking at them saying they're world busters.
Yeah. And a lot of that, it's hand in hand with offensive line play. Yeah. So I think Keontez Lewis could be a guy that could take the top off of defense if he could just have the time to get it down there without having to scramble around.
Sure. I don't know. It's something, but hey, we're going to have to cut it short tonight. I can hear thunder in the background, and I've got some four-legged babies that I need to tend to make sure they're not out and being scared to death in the storm. But man, it sure was great to do the college football recap with you tonight. Probably everybody's not too sad that we're going to cut it, not go an hour and a half tonight.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm going to go to bed. I'm tired. Recovering from a sinus infection.
Yeah, that's right.
It's great. Everything I want to be dry is wet, and everything I want to be wet is dry.
That's right. You're fighting off what I finally went and got the Z-Pack 4 on Wednesday.
Same.
And I got through last night's game for Weatherford without any major hacking incidents. But anyways, but hey, let's go ahead and get on out of here.
All right.
And, it sure has been fun, and it's a great day of football. And thank you everybody for tuning in, for commenting on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter X. So we are on there, and be sure and follow us. All of our links are at lawdogsports.com. CCW Safe, legal self-defense coverage with plans starting as low as $19 a month. The website we want you to use is in the description, and it's also down there on the scroll. Have a great weekend, Jeremy.
You too.
Boomer. Boomer Sooner. He's Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. One last comment. Dan Narva, y'all sound pretty good anyway. Thanks always. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
And we appreciate you. This has been Law Dog Sports, the Weekend Big Show college football wrap-up show here on a Saturday night. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive. And sure, don't drink and drive. We'll talk to you next Friday for the Weekend Big Show.